Your station for new and original, raw and uncut talent. Talk, politics, and music.
Hooty hoo! What's up, my people? This is Eric Wright, and you are now back with Politics as Usual. You know the show that every week we bring you some information, whether it's political or just breaking news or something I think you need to know. Right now, today in Politics as Usual, I want to try to give a conversation and shed a little light on the situation that's going on. We may see a lot of things on the news, or we're hearing about a lot of conflict that's going on in Israel. We hear about a lot of stuff that's going on in Gaza. And we got to think about this. Well, what the hell are they fighting for? Like, who are these people? How long have they been fighting? And what the hell does that have to do with us as black people? This is one of the things that we need to talk about because your government may have one opinion, your favorite actor may have an opinion, and even your favorite rapper may have an opinion. I actually saw Sean Poe. I guess he don't call himself Sean Poe anymore. He's the leader of the opposition party in Belize. He made a statement about it, condemning certain acts. And me personally, I'm more focused on the state of Alabama in which I live in, and I'm more focused on the people that look like me and you. So this is who I'm having the conversation with. So let's figure out what the hell is going on in Israel right now, and particularly Gaza. Gaza is what we want to talk about. Israel is pretty much a farm state, and there's a small strip on the outside of Israel to the Mediterranean coast called Gaza, and this is where a lot of Palestinians live, and uh, it's probably a few million Palestinians that's there. To give you some background of it, let's go all the way back. We got to go all the way back because this is old beef that these guys have. I'm talking about old beef. Okay, in 1917, Israel, Gaza, and that area was controlled by the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire controlled it for a pretty good time until British colonial rule. British colonial rule reigned there in that area for a long time, and it didn't end till about 1948. So in 1948, that's when the British Empire was finally kicked out, or finally decided to leave that area, Gaza, and where the Palestinians were. Remember, the Palestinians are a people that inhabited that area before the state of Israel was created. So we have to keep that in mind too. So that caused a conflict between the people in Gaza, which is the Palestinians, and the Israelis. So uh, we have that set. So we're about in 1948. The British colonial rule is gone. Okay, so once the British was gone, the Egyptians, about 1952 or so, decided, we're going to make friends with the Palestinians. We're even going to have them come to Egypt to study. We're going to train them in Egypt too. They can work in Egypt. So they had that going on for a good little while. But there were people in the Palestinian people and different parties that were pretty much coming up, and they wanted to control their own territory. They wanted to be their own president, and this continued. Now we're still in the 50s. Let me bring you to 1967. 1967, there was a war between the Israeli military and the Gaza population. Now, remember I said the Ottoman Empire had that area, and it was around 2 million. About 2 million Palestinians at that time, and that was 1917. We fast forward to 1967, there's only about 394,000 of them. So that's a lot of people that's died in between that time. So 1967, you have the military occupation of Gaza. That's when the Israeli troops came in and they occupied the area. They made settlements in the area. They did patrols and things like that. So they could control the area. But that lasted about until 1987 when the Palestinians said, "The hell with that. We want you guys out of there." And so once that happened in 87, this is the first time you hear of the group Hamas. Hamas is almost an Egyptian formed group. Muslims and a few other people came together and they have um, this idea to arm Palestine. And this was not only a political party, is also said to be a terrorist organization, because of certain things or certain measures they have went to and have accepted claim for, like suicide bombers and things like that. Now, at the time, there was another guy that wasn't a part of Hamas. His name was Yasser Arafat. And he was leading a liberation army too. And Yasser Arafat was the one in 1993 that signed the Oslo Accord with the United States and Israel, saying that there's going to be peace. Israel decided to give the Palestinians not full control of their area, but like a semi control. Like you guys halfway can control your area, and we may let y'all work in Israel and things like that. And that was sufficient for a little while until the 2000s. Matter of fact, the year 2000, that's when we have the Second Palestinian War. Um, and also when all of the Israelis that were in Gaza at the time, they left. They left. They packed up any houses, any buildings, any factories, greenhouses, all of that. They packed it up and they left, and they bordered off Gaza and made people show ID, whatever, if they were going into Israel. Then after a while, they cut that out too. So completely eliminating them from the rest of the world. Now they thought they can get around it because what they did about 2006, they started building tunnels um, from that area all the way to Egypt, so they can still kind of make money, do trades and things like that. But they was cut off from the rest of the world. So this was in 2006, and once they started doing that, that's when Hamas started to really take power. Once they started taking power and gaining that military control, then that's when we finally start seeing. Once they start getting that military control, all of the Israelis that was around the Gaza area, they were no longer there. Then they totally cut off any workers, any day workers, anyone that wanted to come into Israel that was Palestinian or in the Gaza area. They completely stopped that, cutting them off, and even hitting them with airstrikes, knocking out everything, putting them in total darkness. Now, this 2006, 2014, Hamas and other groups launched rockets at the heartland of Israel, carrying out airstrikes, bombarding military and artillery units, and they probably killed about 67 Israeli soldiers. Um, Israel, they definitely retaliated, killing over 2,000 people. You know, and it brings you to today. On the 7th of October, there was a military strike by Hamas. They accepted responsibility and said that they did it. It did come from that area of Gaza, and it killed people. And then Israel had their response. This is a conflict that has been going on for over 100 years. And at this point, I don't think us as black people can say what's wrong or what's right in this conflict. It seems like it's best for us to stay the fuck out of it. But there is one thing, and this is politics as usual, and this is why I bring you this kind of information. There was a headline about a month ago. It says, after decades of struggle in Israel, dozens of African Hebrew Israelites face deportation. It caught my eye. African Hebrew Israelites. Okay, so they said African, so I'm thinking they're natively born in Africa. So I read the article and come to find out, no, these are former Americans, indigenous Americans, people that was born in America. So in somewhere around the 1960s, there was a group of Hebrew Israelites. It's a spirituality community, and these guys in the 1960s. Now they have this ancestral connection to Israel. So about 3,000 of them left. 3,000 of them left the United States in the 1960s and has been staying in Israel since then. Their numbers have doubled, and they live in a village called the Village of Peace. So look that up if you've never heard of it. The Village of Peace. There's black um, Israelites that's there. And my thing is, what's going on with my people while these guys are hashing out this fight they've been going on for over 100 years? My people's only been there since 1960, and I have fear for their safety. So if you're wondering what's happened to them, look up their story, spread their story, their information, let people know that we do have people that's over there. They very well may be someone kin to us or someone that's close by. So we definitely got to keep that in mind. So Gaza conflict going on for over 100 years. We isolate you guys. They bomb back. We bomb back. Like it's been going back and forth. They've been through peace treaties multiple times, and I don't think they've seen much of any peace. If you ask me, I think their direction is kind of off. It's hard to fit 2 million people in the small Gaza Strip. That's almost insane. That's like trying to pack in all the black people you can into Rhode Island. It just don't make sense. There's too many of us to be stuck there. Anyway, this politics as usual. And I brung it to you straight, raw, uncut. Remember, we hear a lot, we see a lot. But if you can't filter through the bullshit, you'll get lost. Remember, it's all politics as usual. Keep your head on the swivel.